Hi guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with some daily analysis. Today is Thursday the 14th of July 2016 and the time is 11:51 here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDUSD 3-hour chart. In today's analysis we're going to be looking at the pairs to the right here, except for the GBP pairs because I'm not trading GBP right now because of Brexit. So we're going to be looking at these pairs highlighted here and we're going to be looking at each and every time frame for those pairs, scanning for price action setups. Before we look at the price action setups though, I want to make an announcement. There's a webinar coming up and it's going to be a pretty cool webinar on placing support resistance areas and advanced support resistance area techniques. That way you can predict where price is going to reverse and stall. So we're going to be looking at placing support resistance areas, some of the more advanced techniques that I have not really discussed before in previous webinars. The webinar is going to be on Saturday, July 30th at 4 p.m, completely free. I'll link you to the sign up page below this video on YouTube and below this video if you're looking at it on my blog. And always remember, there's always a link below these YouTube videos to my blog where you can discuss this analysis and also where I update this analysis. The video I did 2 days ago, a lot of the trades or the potential trades that I mentioned on that video didn't end up triggering, but there were other trades that came after and I updated my analysis on the blog, but I didn't do a video update because that takes way too long. So keep in mind that you should check out the link to the blog, that way you can see any updates to my analysis throughout the day. Anyway, let's get started with today's analysis. Like I said, in today's analysis, we're going to be going through each and every time frame for the pairs that I am looking at trading today. The reason we go through each and every time frame is so we can properly scan for price action setups. Now, you're going to notice a few weird time frames up on my list here. I only trade the 3-hour, the 4-hour, the 6-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, and the daily. These other time frames here, like the 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, they are there just for analysis purposes. What do I mean by that? I mean that splitting candles up into different time frames allows me to better understand what price is doing in that specific area. So they're there just for analysis purposes, as purely analysis. The only time frames I trade are the 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and daily. Anyway, let's get started with today's analysis. I'm going to start with the 3-hour and work our way up. Now, this week has not been particularly good for me. It's been a bit of a bad week. I just closed out this AUDUSD trade with a loss this morning. It was a small loss. I didn't let it go all the way to my stop loss because it was quite clear the way the tide was turning. So yeah, I closed this one out. There's nothing much happening on AUDUSD because, you know, if a trade's just been closed out, then I'm not going to be looking to get into another trade. So nothing going on in AUDUSD. AUD New Zealand's on the same boat. I didn't take the AUD New Zealand trade, but a few people in the advanced course forum did, and it was a similar result. It just didn't work out. Not all trades work out. You know, it's not always going to be a big good news when you enter a trade. Sometimes trades fail. And yeah, this week has been not the best week. But it is only Thursday and we could have some trades coming up. I don't think my support resistance areas have been adjusted. I'm pretty sure the support resistance area is meant to be down here. Could be wrong though. Let's look at it on the 12-hour real quick and see. Yeah, I adjusted the support resistance area down this morning. I don't think I saved it properly. I think I adjusted this one too. Oh well, looks like I'm going to have to adjust them again during the analysis. And it actually looks like we have a possible bounce forming here. Let's look at this on the 6-hour. It's got a long time until it closes though, so I'm not going to get too excited over this one. But it does look like price is stalling around the support area. So it's worth keeping a close eye on it. but I'm not going to get overly excited with the USDCAD one. But yeah, I'll keep a close eye on it. It looks like we've got price stalling on an area of support, which is obviously a good thing, and it's obviously something we want to see. Yeah, okay. All right, this has got 10 hours until it closes on the 12 hour, so I wouldn't get very excited over this. It's got 4 hours until it closes on the 6 hour chart. This actually looks pretty good right now. 4 hour, 3 hour, an hour until it closes on the 3 hour chart. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this. This is actually looking pretty good. It's basically what we've got here is indecision forming on an area of resistance. So price is stalling on top of that area of resistance. It's a very strong area of resistance. It was caused by Brexit, when price collapsed during Brexit. It's back up there now. You know, it can continue moving up potentially, like it was doing pre-Brexit, or it could potentially reverse. What we have to wait for to see a potential to enter a reversal trade is for this candle to close, and then I want to see sellers taking control of price. So I'm not going to enter as soon as that candle closes. I want to see clear signs that sellers are taking control of price. For more information on my strategy, free information on my strategy, just visit my website and click the strategy section. The website's forexfornoobs.com. I'll also put a link to that below the video. But what I'm looking to do potentially here is take a reversal trade on probably the 6 hour chart. I don't really want to wait for the 12 hour chart. If I do take this reversal trade based on the current indecision candle, and remember, this is based on what we're seeing right now, but this is probably going to change because we've got 4 hours until this candle closes. So it's quite some time until this candle actually closes. But I would probably be looking to trade something like this. Yeah, see, that gives us a 2.3 risk to reward ratio. Gives us a pretty decent stop loss. It's a safe stop loss. It's well above the resistance area, and it's above the previous high, which is, or the current high of this candle. Let's zoom in a bit. So yeah, it's above the current high of this candle. Price is moving quite fast right now. I think there might have just been a news release. What was the news release that was due out? Let me just check real quick. Yeah, a lot of GDP reports just came out. Official bank rate, monetary policy. So, you know, that might have an impact on this trade. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So already we're seeing that you can't really base your stop losses and entries on the current candle, because right in front of our eyes, the size of the current candle changed. So that's going to affect our entry, because I like to get in below the indecision candle, and it's going to affect our stop loss by extending it. And it's going to mean that our target is not going to be as good. So now our target has to be around about down here to get a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2. So, you know, that's pretty normal. That's why I don't really like basing my entries off of open candles. It's not really how I do things. So we need to wait for this candle to close, but based on what I'm seeing right now, this is roughly how I would take the trade, but be aware this might and probably will change by the time this candle closes. Okay, so EURJPY looks a lot like AUDJPY. Yeah, look at this. We've got indecision across the board. I get a feeling we're going to see this on all JPY pairs right now. Yeah, it's probably going to be a very similar pattern everywhere. All right, so I'm going to drop back down to the 6 hour for EURJPY. Got pretty much the same game plan here. Looking to take a short position, bounce from this resistance area here. I'll draw up the potential setup as I see it based on the current indecision candle. But like I said with the previous one, please be aware that this is likely going to change by the time this trade actually gets anywhere close to triggering. But this is a very, very similar setup. I mean, it's very hard to spot the difference between the two. See, they look pretty much exactly the same. So I'm probably not going to take both of these. I'll only take one. Yeah, they're very highly correlated pairs, and I've been thinking a lot about correlations lately, and I've been thinking that it might be best to just ignore them and take both trades anyway. But I don't think it's something I'm going to be willing to do today, especially not on these pairs. They're very, very highly correlated, and I'd only really take one of these. I'd probably lean towards taking AUDJPY if I had to. The setups look very similar, almost exactly the same. I guess EURJPY looks... No, they look exactly the same. It's just EURJPY has a better trend leading up, a cleaner trend leading up. But that's not that big a deal, really. The reason I would lean towards AUDJPY is because EURJPY... Euro is going to be more affected by Brexit, and unexpected news about Brexit is going to have a large impact on the euro, but less of an impact on AUD and on JPY, although it can impact JPY significantly too. But we're going to get less. There's a lower likelihood of swings on AUD JPY than there is on Euro JPY, so I'll probably go for the AUD JPY out of these two. Anyway, I want to speed through this analysis because I've already been talking for 12 minutes. So nothing much happening on USDCHF. Right, nothing on USDCHF. What about New Zealand USD? Yeah, nothing really. Even if there's nothing, I still go through every single time frame. It's just about having a process and sticking to your process. My process is going through each and every time frame, step by step, for each pair I'm planning on trading that day, just to make sure. Alright, we're getting a similar setup here on USD JPY. Like I was saying, it's probably going to be across the board on the JPY pairs. Doesn't look as clean on USD JPY though, but it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, look at it on the 12-hour. Might consider this potentially, but it doesn't look like it. I think the risk to reward ratio on this USD JPY trade is not going to be as good. Just at a glance, it doesn't look anywhere near as good. Yeah, we're looking at about 1.5, probably less by the time you factor in spread and your actual entry being 2 or 3 pips after the indecision. So yeah, USD JPY showing a similar setup, but I'm not really too interested in trading that. Euro AUD, let's take a quick scan of this. Nothing of significance happening. Euro USD. Yeah, nothing much going on here. And Euro GBP. We're at the GBP pair, so it's time to pull away. So what do we have for today? Today we have a potential USD CAD setup, but it's still very early days on the USD CAD setup. You know, you might consider the 6-hour potential. So, well, actually, maybe the 6-hour is good to enter now. I might enter this trade right now. Wait, let's. Yeah. Okay. That actually looks pretty decent. This looks like a decent trade. So let me explain why I think this is a decent trade. So we've got a preceding trend heading down. So the preceding trend is the trend that took us down to this support area. Pretty strong trend. It had a minor hiccup on its way down, but overall it's a pretty strong bearish trend heading down into the support area. When price hit support, what did it do? It started to stall. So we got this indecision candle here. Indecision indicates that price is stalling, price is struggling to break through that support area. We got some signs before this indecision candle that support was going to be a problem for buyers. See how buyers poked down to the support area and pulled back, and then they did so again here. So this is their they're trying again. This is their third attempt to break through this support area. And you might be saying, no, it's not their third attempt. It's all part of the same attempt because it's all like pushing down. But you got to remember that, you know, when you're looking at price, you're looking at just this time frame. If we were to drop down to, let's say, the 15-minute time frame, it's going to look a lot different. You're going to see very clearly that there are multiple attempts and not just a single attempt, and probably even more so on the 5-minute chart. Not that I trade these time frames, but you can kind of see the first attempt, the second attempt, and the third attempt, which is happening right now. So price has made 3 attempts on the lower time frames, but it has made 3 attempts at breaking through this area, and it's failed. So this tells us that this is a strong area of support. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing right now, I might need to enter this, I might need to pause this so I can enter. Right now we're seeing a nice strong move from buyers. What does that strong move tell us? It tells us that buyers are now taking control of price. If buyers are able to break up above the high of the indecision candle, that would indicate that the bearish trend is ending and that buyers are taking control of price because we're seeing a higher high. So, you know, a higher high in itself doesn't really mean much. But when you look at all of this together, when you look at indecision forming on a strong area of support, we know it's a strong area of support because price has made multiple attempts to break it. So we're having indecision forming on support, and then buyers start to take control of price. They start to push up and they create a higher high. All those things together suggest that we are about to see a reversal. Now, price has not broken yet, but when it does, I am strongly going to consider entering this trade. I am tempted to pause this video and do some risk analysis right now, but I also want to get the video out so you guys can potentially catch this trade. So I'm just going to push through this, upload the video, and then do my risk analysis, even if it causes me to miss this trade. Another thing that's very good about this trade is see this bounce here? See our price came down, pushed back up and bounced away. That area might be a problem for us. So if we were in a long trade, price might come to this area and bounce away. But the good thing is that our target is around this area. So we have a nice solid target around this area. So if price pushes up to here, we can be out of this trade by that point. So we don't have to worry too much about price pushing up and bouncing away. So that's pretty nice to see on this setup. It would require a 1.7 risk to reward ratio, but when price reaches here, if it starts to stall heavily, I might consider doing that. What else can I say about this trade? Also, recently we got another bounce from here. I don't really think this would have been a very great trade to enter, but the point is we did get a very strong bounce from this area of support. So price came up, broke through it, came back down, bam, bounced away, and we got another bounce there. So this is obviously a strong support area, and we are getting some strong signs of buyers taking control of price. So I am going to be looking to enter this trade ASAP. If it breaks, obviously. I'm not going to enter until it breaks the high of that indecision candle. When I say ASAP, I mean as soon as it breaks the high of that indecision candle, I want to be in this trade. The thing about USDCAD is it kind of tends to, not always, but it has a tendency to pick a direction and then just start moving in that direction. So I don't want to waste much time with this trade. I don't want to wait for a retrace. I don't want price to break up, push up above and then wait for it to come back down before I enter. USDCAD is one of those pairs that just kind of picks a direction and starts moving in that direction. Like I said, not always, but it does that quite a lot. So I want to kind of enter this trade as soon as that high is broken. Now, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on this trade. It looks like a pretty solid setup. So I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to post this analysis as soon as possible. That way I can do my own risk analysis for this specific setup and potentially enter this trade. Also keep in mind AUDJPY, EURJPY, USDJPY. These three pairs also seeing setups on there. So keep an eye out for those. Anyway, thank you for watching today's analysis. If you do enter this trade, please be very careful. Please set a good stop loss. My stop loss is going to be below the indecision candle. And keep in mind that just because I am a full-time trader and just because I make a living trading doesn't mean I'm going to be right about this trade. I've already taken a bad trade this week. Sometimes traders just have bad weeks. Sometimes traders have bad months. So do not pin all your hopes on this trade just because you have a experienced trader telling you that it's a good setup. All setups have the potential to fail, even setups made by the best trader even setups taken by the best traders in the world. Every trade setup has the potential to fail. So do your own risk analysis and really, really think if this trade is right for you before entering. Do not blindly enter because I am considering entering, because that is not the way you trade. Anyway, I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's analysis and give me a thumbs up on YouTube if you liked it. It really does help out. See you guys later.